From the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg, this is 30 Minutes with Government with Cedric Peterson.
Welcome to another edition of 30 Minutes with Government. I'm Cedric Peterson. The Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, as part of its I Am King program, is organizing a male empowerment panel discussion entitled Man to Man, Straight Talk, a no-holds-barred conversation, to be held on Saturday, January 28th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Phillipsburg Cultural Center. The I Am King program is a collaborative effort of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports and the Gifted Foundation. Minister of Youth Affairs, the Honorable Severia Jacobs, highlighted the program and extended an invitation to the general public to attend while speaking at the Council of Ministers press briefing of Wednesday, January 18th.
It's a male empowerment program which will be hosting a panel discussion which will be held on January 28th, 2017 at the Phillipsburg Cultural Center from 7 to 9 p.m. It's entitled Man to Man, Straight Talk, a No-Holds-Barred Conversation. We believe that as a ministry, in our efforts to empower men and to raise up our men in the society, that this type of discussion is necessary and needed. And as such, two panels will be leading the discussion. The two themes are Manhood 101, which will be looking at what it means to be a man, and the second one, the role of a man, which will be focused on fatherhood and relationships. I believe this is a wonderful opportunity for men of all cross-sections of our community to come together, have fruitful discussions with our youngsters and a panel of older men as well. The event is totally free, hosted by the ministry, and the general public, especially men, are invited and encouraged to come out and participate in this very vital discussion.
Meanwhile, 30 Minutes with Government spoke more in depth about the I Am King program and panel discussion with Project Officer at Division of Education Innovations, Ms. Sharon Kanagita, and President of the Gifted Foundation, Mr. Lenworth Wilson. They defined the program and explained what can be expected at the panel discussion on Saturday, January 28th.
I Am King is an initiative that came off from a previous program called Boys to Kings that started in 2014. However, in 2015, when the Department of Youth Affairs decided to do a male empowerment initiative, we sat together, Gifted Foundation and Youth Affairs, and we came up with I Am King. The idea behind it is, one, getting men in our community, young men and old men, to say I am king, to declare I am king. And then secondly, having the understanding of what it means to be king. We grew up with the sentiments of boys will be boys. And so we have grown men still behaving like boys, still throwing on the throwback, sagging the pants and putting on a snapback. And the mentality doesn't change. You might change the toys that you have, but we're still being boys and lacking the responsibility and the moral development that you expect from men. And then we transition from that to a misconception of manhood. And so we believe that it's just a matter of having the right body parts, being the right age, and that makes you a man. And then the further miseducation of how much women you have or how much cars you have, the possessions, and that makes you a man, or how aggressive you could be. So we wanted to take the concept beyond just being a man and to becoming a king, which teaches the concept of taking care of your community, looking out for others, raising a standard then for others to aspire towards. Because when we think of kings or royalty, we think of a high standard, a regal appearance. And so having every man, young or old, consider themselves that way. Because we always say, we want a queen, and we treat women like queen, but then having our men thinking like kings was always absent. And I think that's where a lot of breakdown came in our society. So I Am King is targeting those mindsets of what it really means to be the epitome of manhood then.
I think it was a positive move on the side of Youth Affairs, the Department of Youth Affairs, to actually collaborate with Gifted. What I understood from the department head, Ms. Shadmina Powell-Richardson, is that the kingdom actually is focusing on the young men and coming out of that, this entire project was birthed. So I look at it working in the department or the Ministry of Education, as a matter of fact, dealing with the various schools and my experience over the years of working within the ministry, the need for the attention to boys or the male figure was actually missing. And there's no words to express how I feel dealing with this project. It had its hiccups, but I am just happy that it's moving forward and we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. The things that come out of this project, it leaves you wondering, are we living in the same world with the youth today? What happened? What happened between the years when I grew up with the young boys to now? What caused the drastic change? And I think coming out of the youth forum that we just had on December 8th to the public forum that we are going to hold on January 28th, I can't wait to hear the expressions.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear I wouldn't call it the battle, which we did say that it would be the battle of the fittest, the old versus the new. But I'm looking forward to this.
President of Gifted Foundation, Mr. Lenworth Wilson, and Project Officer at Division of Education Innovations, Ms. Sharon Kanagita. Catch the full interview about the I Am King program on Friday, January 27th at 7 p.m. when Inside Government airs on St. Martin Cable TV, Channel 115. The Ministry of Rami has officially commenced a construction project for the Arrowroot Road sewage line. For details on this, we now join Marshall Gums Bobertui.
Honorable Minister of Rami Christophe Emmanuel has officially commenced the construction project for the Arrowroot Road sewage line in the area of South Reward. The Arrowroot Road sewage connection project consists of 21 houses that will be connected to the main sewage line on the L.B. Scott Road. New sewage lines and pits will be installed in Pear Road, Arrowroot Road, Carrot Road, and Cucumber Road. Esley Construction won the tender for the Arrowroot Road sewage connection project. The work will consist of cutting the concrete pavement, digging trenches to install the new sewage lines, and repaving the road with concrete. The project is expected to be completed within 60 working days. Subcontracted are Demira General Maintenance and Construction and WV Ice Survey NV. Young individuals from within the community of South Reward are also being recruited for the project. The St. Martin Community Collective South Reward was present for the groundbreaking, along with the support staff of the Minister's Cabinet, representatives of Rami's Department of Infrastructure, Management, and various persons from the neighborhood. There will be traffic interruptions during the Arrowroot Road sewage line project. Honorable Minister Emmanuel would like to apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. As the project continues, the general public will be informed on its progress.
In news from the Ministry of VSA, the Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, the Honorable Emil Lee, recently returned from a working visit to Curacao where he met with the new incoming Minister of Health, Environment and Nature, Ms. Zita Jesus Lieto. Minister Lee spoke about his work visit at the Council of Ministers press briefing of Wednesday, January 18th.
I took the opportunity to meet with the new Minister of Health, Environment and Nature, Ms. Minister Jesus Lieto. And the purpose of the meeting was a very simple meeting. We've had a good working relationship that we've developed between St. Martin, Aruba, and Curacao. I wanted to make sure that while the minister was developing her plans for her term in office, to make sure that cooperation between St. Martin and Curacao remained a priority. Based on our conversations, certainly that is the plan. In areas, in particular, vector control, things like sharing resources in terms of how we're dealing with Zika. You know, it's very interesting. When I attended a conference in Bonaire in October, it was interesting. They hadn't had rain in Bonaire for months, and actually the time that we were there, it was raining. And yet Bonaire has a Zika problem. Bonaire does have mosquitoes. And it made me really think about, if they don't have any rainwater, they don't really have cisterns because there's not much rain there, and they still have a mosquito problem, it just really does show how daunting a task it is if we really want to control vectors in St. Martin, where we're blessed with, lush landscaping because of the rainfall. We really do need to have the public fully engaged in the process.
Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, the Honorable Emil Lee. More stories still ahead as 30 Minutes with Government continues after these public service announcements.
2017 public holiday schedule. Good Friday, Friday, April 14. Easter Sunday, Sunday, April 16. Easter Monday, Monday, April 17. King's Day, Thursday, April 27. Labor Day, Monday, May 1st. Carnival Day, Tuesday, May 2nd. Ascension Day, Thursday, May 25th. Whit Sunday, Sunday, June 4th. Emancipation Day, Saturday, July 1st. Constitution Day, Monday, October 9th. St. Martin's Day, Saturday, November 11th. Christmas Day, Monday, December 25th. Boxing Day, Tuesday, December 26th. And New Year's Day, Monday, January 1st, 2018. The 2017 public holiday schedule can also be viewed on the official website of the Government of St. Martin, www.stmartingov.org.
In news from the Ministry of General Affairs, an agreement on pension reform has been signed between government, the General Pension Fund of St. Martin, APS, and the Civil Servants Union, which took place on Saturday, January 21, 2017. The historic signing took place in the conference room of the Council of Ministers at the new Government Administration Building and followed with a press conference held in the DCOM press room. Addressing the media was President of the Windward Islands Teachers Union, Ms. Claire Elshot Aventurin, Secretary of the Board of APS, Ms. Kendra Arnell, Chairman of the Board of APS, Mr. Franklyn Richards, Minister of Finance, the Honorable Richard Gibson Sr., and Prime Minister, the Honorable William Marlin.
For me, it's a distinct pleasure today to be here and also honor to speak on behalf of you, the unions, to express not only our gratitude, but also to express that for a number of years, we have finally reached a milestone where we can say that through social dialogue, we have been able to accomplish some of the key aspects of the reform to the General Pension Fund on behalf of our membership. Formally and historically before times, a number of changes would be made where unilateral decisions were made by management and whoever, and then they were just passed down to the unions. In this process, it was really very determining to see that with the input of the GOA, as the body, we were able to form a work group that had a number of sessions, a number of meetings, over 28 meetings, and with the different presentations using the knowledge of an actuary and also the different persons. It was a very good learning process for the unions because we got a lot of insight in how a pension fund works, how it is built up, although we knew a lot of the general conditions. But this reform, the importance of it is to also make sure, guarantee that the future of the civil servants of St. Martin, our members, would be guaranteed a pension when they reach pension age, and we have to make sure that it is something that they can also grow and look forward to.
We were tasked as a work group with finding ways to make it more affordable, to make it a more modern plan, to bring it from where it was, almost legislation dating back to 1938, to something that is more fitting for the 21st century, to make it something that is sustainable, that we can look forward to that pension income once it comes to be. It was a sometimes tedious process with many discussions about sometimes very abstract and theoretical discussions or subjects, But at the end of the day, I think we all can be happy and proud of what we have what has come to fruition. The agreement we signed today that shows where we would like to see the fund go and where we would like to see this pension regulation be, and expect it to remain as such for a long period of time. Because let's be honest, we don't want to have to do this too often in the future. So I do thank all of the members of the working group that consisted of representatives of AZET, BNO, VSA, the Social Affairs Department, representatives of the union, and APS, myself, and all those that took part in form of expertise, calling in and making it all possible. Let's be honest, it was a good working experience, and I do agree with you, Ms. Alshot, that is definitely the case. And I want to again thank you all for making that a possibility. We're not done yet. We still have some more detailed levels to do, and of course the legislation is currently being crafted and will be presented shortly to the Minister for the presentation to the Council of Ministers and also to the Parliament. But this hurdle that we have taken and the document that was signed today is definitely a milestone that I think we can be proud of.
I must say this is a milestone, and I think it brings some easement as well in all our hearts, and especially our Minister of Finance, who is very dynamic and a no-nonsense person and really would like to see the pension fund, move forward. And I can tell you that because we have many discussions. And I thank you again for placing the trust in government and in APS, because this is something really that is needed when we have these type of negotiations. We have to trust each other. And I thank you for understanding that we have to save the pension fund. The world all over, pension funds are really suffering. APS is no different. We have a low coverage ratio, meaning that we have to meet our obligations. Not now, but in the future, especially in the long future, and making sure that the younger ones here with us today, that they can really get their pension when they reach retirement age. Interest rates are dropping, and you know what? We are getting older, and we are living longer and stronger as well. And we do all the necessary to keep our body together. So therefore, the pension fund has to adapt itself in order to make sure that those that are stronger, lower interest rates, and especially looking at, to cover that, we look at the pension reforms. We also look at investments and making sure to bring the cover ratio, above 105. Once it's above 105, we feel comfortable with it.
When people have to give up certain things, on the surface, it's very difficult sometimes to pull them across the line. If people want to go on pension at 60 years, and you tell them, no, you're not going to go on pension in 60 years because you can't afford it, you got to go at 65. When that came to the surface, I said we're in for a lot of trouble. We're going to have a lot of difficulties to broach that cave-in from 60 to 65. And I was amazed, and I think all of you deserves all the compliments we could think of, because through dialogue, as the president of WICSU said, together, when we realize that it is in the interests of everyone, not a particular group alone, but through dialogue, this system that have been used to reach to this agreement is a system that I think we should use for every issue that we are confronted with, because it shows that once the general interest surfaces, that people are prepared to make the hard decisions, no matter what sacrifice have been made, to be able to satisfy the general interest.
Earlier today, we had the signing of the covenant, the agreement that was reached after some 25 meetings and 3 presentations, and a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of giving and taking we have reached thus far. Is the work over? No, not yet. Because now that there is an agreement, now that there is an understanding on the way forward, we need now to put this into legislation that has to be approved by the Council of Ministers, go to Parliament. Hopefully, it will be what they call a hammerstick that everybody could agree to, because it is for those who have signed on to it. So you have done, if you want to call it the dirty work already, you have done the good work, because you have been responsible in your negotiations, in your discussions, and you have put the best interest, not only of the membership, but the best interest of the pension fund and the interest of the future. Because if we think only about what will benefit me today on short term and forget about what will happen to those who will come after me, if those who came before us were selfish, we would not have been able to benefit from it today. The key to it is some of the factors, or one of the main issues, is raising the pensionable age from 62 to 65. For some, it is like, man, because they were hoping to retire at 62, since it changed from 60 to 62, and now they may face 65. But the reality is that when we look around and we see at least 3 persons here who have already passed not only 60, 62, but also 65, and are still active and working not only in government, but making contributions in areas like the pension fund and in other instances as well.
The Ministry of ROMI is announcing road closures around the Greater Phillipsburg area. For the details, here's Giselle York.
Ministry of Public Housing, Environment, Spatial Development and Infrastructure, Ministry of ROMI, announces that there will be a temporary road closing on Monday, January 23rd on Front Street near Seaview Hotel. The closure will take place from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. and is in connection with the installation of a permanent lighting sign. Motorists are asked to remove any vehicles from the vicinity of the Seaview Hotel by 6 p.m. on Monday to avoid any damage. This would also quickly facilitate the installation of the sign, allowing for the road to open quickly. Meanwhile, another road closure has taken place, this time on the Pondville Road. This closure started on Sunday, January 22nd at 8 p.m. and will continue until Tuesday, January 24th at 5 a.m. The closing is in connection with road repairs. The repair works will include milling, cleaning, tar coating, and asphalting. The company contracted and responsible for carrying out the works is Windward Roads. All traffic headed or coming from the Sucker Garden or Point Blanche areas will have to commute via Swaliga Boulevard or Canagita Street. Ministry of ROMI apologizes for any inconvenience these road closures may cause. The following is a presentation of the official 2017 vehicle tax tariffs, which include the price of the license plate. Drivers with an M or P license plate designation pay a fee of $287.50 for gasoline-type vehicles and $762.50 for diesel-type vehicles. Drivers with an SXM, MR, L, or PAR license plate designation will pay a fee of $287.50 for gasoline-type vehicles and $762.50 for diesel-type vehicles. Drivers with a taxi license plate designation pay a fee of $287.50 for gasoline-type vehicles and $562.50 for diesel-type vehicles. R license plate designations pay a fee of $312.50 for gasoline-type vehicles and $762.50 for diesel-type vehicles. Drivers of bus, G, and T license plate designations with 35 passengers or less pay a fee of $287.50 for gasoline-type vehicles and $562.50 for diesel-type vehicles. Drivers with a bus, G, or T license plate designation with 35 passengers or more pay a fee of $1,262.50 for both gasoline and diesel-type vehicles. Drivers with a V license plate designation with a weight of less than 3,500 kilograms or 7,700 pounds will pay a fee of $287.50 for gasoline-type vehicles and $762.50 for diesel-type vehicles. Drivers with a V license plate designation with weight more than 3,500 kilograms or 7,700 pounds will pay a fee of $1,262.50 for both gasoline and diesel-type vehicles. Drivers with a Z license plate designation with weight more than 3,500 kilograms or 7,700 pounds also pay a fee of $1,262.50 for both gasoline and diesel-type vehicles. Motorbike MF license plate designations pay a fee of $207.50. Moped MF license plate designations pay a fee of $57.50. To view the list in its entirety, visit the official website of the Government of St. Martin at www.stmartingov.org. Remember, St. Martin, don't be late, pay for your plate. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Department of Communication and the Receiver's Office, Tax Administration. Please be reminded that the deadline for paying your 2017 motor vehicle taxes is Tuesday, February 28th, 2017.
That brings us to the end of this edition of 30 Minutes with Government. For video on demand of all Department of Communication programming, be sure to visit the official government website, stmartingov.org. I'm Cedric Peterson. On behalf of the government of St. Martin and all of us here at the Department of Communication, thanks for tuning in.